The Cardiff City phone in once again, and smiling faces are back on the scene, which is good, even with the midweek game taken into account. On the show tonight, Steve Thomas, good to see Steve again, and Terry Walton, and welcome back, Terry. And the first timer on the show, Peter Young, who had a mysterious meeting with somebody from the show outside a coffee shop a couple of months ago, and he's ended up on the show. So welcome along to you, Peter. Peter, actually, I'll go to you first. It was an excellent win on the weekend, but because you were at both of those games, it was like everything you wished for on Saturday after a disappointing midweek game. Is that about right?
Yeah, I think that's a good summary, really. Obviously, we had the disappointment of the Lincoln game. Following that, hoping for a big bounce back up at Barnsley. 900 of us there, which is pretty good on a Tuesday night. Started brilliantly, got the goal, and then went to pieces. Just lost momentum completely. Let them back into it. Half time, I think BBM certainly sorted a few things out, and second half we were a lot stronger, but just couldn't get the breakthrough. So disappointing, but at the end of the day, a point away from home is never a bad thing.
Yeah, it turned out to be a decent point, actually, didn't it? Yeah. But I totally agree. I watched it, on TV, and the first 20 minutes or so, we looked great.
Yeah.
Lovely goal.
Yeah.
What do you think? What happened? What changed then?
It's difficult to know whether it can be too easy sometimes, and they took their foot off the pedal, maybe. But they certainly lost their way completely. I mean, midfield was completely overrun. And we struggled. Glad to get the half-time whistle and go in at 1-1 at half-time, to be honest.
Yeah.
We did change it around second half, and it was a good performance. But the usual problem that we seem to have is shoot.
Yes. And
seeing 30 shots going in on Saturday.
Yeah, 30 shots. Unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah,
it was.
I mean, that's probably, Peter, I think, I haven't checked the stats on it. Steve might know. But I reckon that's probably the most attempts at goal we've had. I think we had something like 10-1 in terms of shots on target, 30 shots altogether. Yeah. Was that the key difference, do you think? It was like a shoot on sight kind of mentality? Because possession-wise, it was about the same, wasn't it, for both games?
Yeah, absolutely. It's BBM often says that, shouldn't criticise BBM by any means, obviously, but he often says that he doesn't like people shooting if there's an opportunity to get a better shooting opportunity. A goal is a goal, and whether it's a pretty goal that goes in or if it's a goal that's been deflected from a shot outside the area, doesn't matter, it's a goal. And 30 shots on Saturday was such a breath of fresh air. I watched the extended highlights last night, and I was amazed. We could have had double figures. We really could on Saturday. It was there were so many chances, and when a shot goes in, if it's deflected.
Yeah.
One thing I've noticed in this division is how poor most goalkeepers are, and especially in the fact of holding shots. So the ball comes back off them so many times, and it creates more opportunities. But if you don't get that first shot in, you're never going to get the opportunity.
You got to win a ticket to win the prize, haven't you?
I know we often laugh at Mr. Tan with some of his comments, especially his wise and the goalkeeper shooting, etc., etc.
I don't think Nathan Trotsky was scoring goals anytime soon, right? Yeah.
But at the end of the day, he's not wrong if you have a shot,
No.
have a chance of a goal.
So I should mention at this point that we met because it was a day, actually, I won't recount it now, but I had a disaster with a mobile phone, which ended up bursting into flames. I had to pour a bucket of water on it, but we'll leave that one for now. And I was outside, I think it was Starbucks, actually, by the ground, and I was chatting to Peter because I didn't know without a phone, didn't know what time it was, barely knew what day it was. Couldn't get the team news or anything else. And we got talking, and then he recognized my voice from the show. And then you said to me, there was a certain guy who comes on this show that you particularly like his opinions. Who could that be, Peter?
Well, it's nobody who's on to it. No, it's Steve Thomas. I think we think along the same lines on a lot of Cardiff City issues.
That's very kind of you, Peter. Thank you very much.
So that's kind of nice, Steve, isn't it? So focusing on the game on the weekend, 4-0. It was a bit like a cruise control kind of job. City looking back on track. Is it can we relax again now?
It's interesting. One of my friends rang me last week after the game and said, "Should I be worried?" And I told him, "No. It's all going to be fine." I think we are going to be fine now. We've still got well, we're now 11 points ahead of 11 points, and is it 15 goals ahead of Bolton? Yes, we still got to play Bolton, but we're effectively 4 wins ahead of them. So if you look at Bolton, would effectively have to win 7 games, I think, in order to catch us up. If we can, as I put on a comment a couple of weeks ago, if we at least equal Bolton's result in what's now 5 of the 9 remaining games, we'll be fine. And don't forget, everyone, we've still got to play 3 of the bottom 4 at home. So hopefully we can, despite what happened against Burton Albion, of course, hopefully we can see ourselves home now. So I'm a lot less relaxed than I was after last week. I think pick up on what Peter was saying as well. What I think has been, no way implying any criticism of what's been a fantastic season here. But one thing we seem to do, and we'd have to cut it out if we get in the Championship next season, is that if we lose the ball on the halfway line, we've seen the centre-backs are bombed forward, and effectively, as happened against Barnsley in particular, unfortunately, we lost the ball on the halfway line. The Barnsley player took it down their right. 3 defenders went to the man in the middle. The ball missed everybody else, went to the Barnsley player on the far side. They had plenty of time to control it and put it in. And of course, yes, as you said, Peter, we were very, very pleased to get through the half-time whistle there. How McGoldrick missed that chance towards the end of the first half. I mean, he had an absolute age to put it in and managed to, almost clear the stand with his shot. So very grateful that he did so, and we did come out of it with a point. Had we not come out with a point, despite the improved performance in the second half, I think the knives might have been out a little bit, despite our record. If you look at our record this season, okay, yeah, Lincoln, you've got to take your hats off to them. But, oh, well, thanks, Rich.
Not to embarrass you.
Pay you later, yeah. Very kind. Where was I? Been thrown by that. Yeah, I think the one Achilles here we've got is if we do leaves the ball on the halfway line, we are very, very vulnerable. Again, another point I wanted to make is that I was reading some comments from the Exeter City message boards today, and they were so complimentary about us.
Yeah.
So they were the best team they played this season, and so on. And this is 3 days after they played Lincoln. Lincoln only beat them 1-0. And then, of course, I actually watched the game between Rotherham and Bolton on Saturday. Rotherham, the team that we beat 3-0 away, having had Ryan Wintle sent off on 21 minutes when the score was 0-0. And then Rotherham were 2-0 up, and Bolton did get back and get the draw, obviously. But, they didn't do nearly as well as we did against them. So, but Bolton, of course, the previous game, they were 2-0 down going into the 88th minute.
And that's crazy, wasn't it?
Yeah. 3-2. So yes, I've gone roundabout route. Yes, I think we can relax a little bit more now. Yeah.
Okay, Terry, what was if you saw both matches, or you saw most of both matches? Same kind of questions I put to Peter. Really, we kind of toiled and struggled to be convincing, didn't we? Really, in the first midweek game, then on the weekend we were scoring goals for fun. So,
I think at times
what's that down to?
We get overwhelmed in that final quarter, don't we? We keep passing the ball, and as was said earlier, there's nothing better than putting a shot on goal. If it got to be saved or it got to be deflected, you're going to get a goal. But we're looking to get the ball. We play tippy-tappy football around the 12-yard box and don't put enough shots on goal. I mean, that was the Lincoln problem. Wasn't it? We dominated possession midfield, but we put almost no shots on the keeper at all. And they had 2 breakaways, 2 goals, and we 2-0 down.
Yeah.
I think we played too pretty and too much possession midfield. And every now and again, you need that direct attack. And, if you're in around the 12-yard box and you got one glimpse of the goal, get the boot behind it and get it between the posts.
Well, there was a great example of that on the weekend with Ruben, of course, wasn't it? With that first strike, he just turned and battered it, didn't he?
And the Alex shot was brilliant, wasn't he? He took that well.
Goal.
Two curling shots into the corner. And that's what you want. I mean, you take it on Saturday. If it hadn't been for 6 reasonably good saves, besides all the shots on goal, then that could have easily come away 9 or 10-0.
Talking of which, there's a question here from Richard Lewis, and I'll ask you about this, Terry, because I've been wondering this. I know we just won 4-0. Would you start Callum Robinson tomorrow evening after his goal off the bench on the weekend? Because if you think about it, his goals per minutes ratio, is pretty impressive, because he really isn't starting, is he? He's only getting a few minutes and he's still there or thereabouts.
I don't know what I mean. No criticism, BBM, because he can be getting the results and the team are playing well. But he's got the same effect with Callum Robinson, isn't he? He never starts him, he never gets him on to see what he can do early on. He comes on 20 minutes to go, and he picks up an odd goal continually. And it's the same with Callum. He was playing brilliantly early on in the season, and he can't seem to get a start now. These are a couple of players that should be starting regularly, and if need be, substituted in second half, not bring it on with 20 minutes to go.
Yeah, there's an argument, I think, for that, Peter. Would you say with Callum Robinson too? I mean, I said the same before the game on the weekend. BBM isn't the best. He's amazing, but it wasn't the team I personally would have started. I was a little bit surprised. I normally am with the selection, but then he's normally right, isn't he? But with Callum Robinson, there's an argument, isn't there, to maybe give him 45 minutes. Give him a half, see how he goes. Give him the kind of the boost. Picking him and putting him on as main striker.
Yeah, the other trade of thought is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, that's true.
Goals off the bench, then carry on. As you say, his goals per minute played must be. He's had 7 goals in either season, and he's hard to start. Well, carry on, bring him on, and let him get the late goals. That's what I mean.
So he's super sub then, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to be critical when you're picking up results. We have 1 or 2 blips, like the Plymouth game. We had the blip in the Lincoln game, but generally all around we're doing very well, aren't we? So it's very hard to criticize any team selection when he keeps bringing in goals. We lose the Lincoln, we bounce back against Doncaster 4-0 the Tuesday after. So you can hardly criticize his selection, can you?
It's always been a case as a Cardiff fan that you'd wait to see the team sheet and you'd think, oh no, what's he doing? Now it's a case of, okay, let him do what he wants, because generally it's working so well.
Yeah, because it's interesting, Peter. Again, with this, we talked about it a lot on the show. I'm sure he'll change it again tomorrow. The central defensive partnership. He keeps on kind of tweaking it. Again on Saturday, I thought Arshaw had a really good game.
Yeah,
and they both performed as good ball playing central defenders. Footballing central defenders.
Arshaw was superb. He did have his one little moment where he just completely missed the ball and hit it to the mouth, which he tends to like to do. With this lack of concentration or whatever, I don't know. But fair play, he was tremendous on Saturday. He was tremendous.
I wonder if those two might be the future, maybe championship level, as footballing centre halves.
They're strong, aren't they? I think on the last 2 Saturdays, what we have seen is an excellent away performance on each of the last 2 Saturdays. Unfortunately, the one before it wasn't us. It was from Lincoln.
There was also a great performance by the City fans on the weekend. Loud and proud and very, very much in evidence. And he seems to be fairly well received by Exeter Football Club in general, and giving people a cup of tea on arrival and all kinds of stuff. Not for everyone, but quite a nice day out, really.
I must say they were superb. I've never been to Exeter before. There's not many grounds I haven't been to, but I haven't been to Exeter. When we got there, we travel independently. We don't go on coaches. We always drive. So my son dropped us off outside. My wife, my son, and myself go. Dropped us off outside the ground. We approached a steward and said, "Can you tell us where the away end is, please?" He took us. He didn't say, "Turn right, turn right." He took us to gate 5 and said, "There we are. Enjoy the day." They've got signs outside. A lot of clubs have signs now saying, "Welcome Cardiff City. Thanks for the so many 100 miles that you've travelled for today's game." Exeter had it. They also had it in Welsh.
Wow!
Wow!
They were, all the stewards there. It was a 4-0 victory, which obviously helps. But it was a great day. They were a fantastically run football club, run by the supporters, of course. Run by the supporters, and it was just a pleasure to go as an away fan.
And at the beginning of the season, Steve, I don't know whether you got yourself one of these, but people were buying themselves the League One tour T-shirts, with like you're going to see a band on tour kind of thing, and all the different grounds.
I have one of those T-shirts.
Oh, do you? Yeah, there you go. I don't know whether you took them off week by week or whatever, but if it is if it is, because things change, we are going to lose a couple of games between now and the end of the season. There's no doubt about it. There will be surprises. But if things do go the way that they look like they're going to go, and it is just one season and we're up, then we can have, we can have used our League One journey, as a rebuilding move, can't we?
Most definitely. On record several times over the season, Steve, saying that I saw you at the end of the home game that against West Brom last season, where we effectively got relegated, and I appreciated the hug at the time. Thank you very much. Very manly hug, I have to say. But I did appreciate it. But I didn't want to go down. But this season has been such a great breath of fresh air. Peter mentioned not many grounds I've not been to. I think I can only do two new grounds this season as well. I went to Exeter in 1982-3, so I went when one of the Bennett brothers got sent off, we won 2-0. But that's my only previous visit to Exeter. I did my first visit to Blackpool this season. After all these years, I didn't do that. But Blackpool's one of our poorest performances of the season, unfortunately. So there's not many grounds I've not been to. But I think to go back to Richard Lewis's point about Callum Robinson, I'd like to repeat your answer as well, Peter. That if it ain't broke, don't fix it. When Kellerman, when Salak was out, and the next game he brought Kellerman in, I thought, then what's he doing? And then obviously we then ran away with the game. Kellerman was absolutely outstanding. Kellerman is going to be a fantastic player. I think we would do a lot worse than try to get him back next season on loan again. If Chelsea are pleased with him and he's not going to get in Chelsea's team, let's have him back again. Yeah,
good call. And Steve, there's a comment here from Jonathan. Terry. Comment here from Jonathan Mordecai. And it's well worth pointing out as well, because Ollie's one of those players. He's not everyone's cup of tea. He's not that conventional, and he tends to get a bit of abuse sometimes from fans. The most assists in 2026, 10 assists, and of course he was out injured for so long, and now second for the season after being out for months with injury. Have you been impressed with Ollie, Terry?
I have. I mean, as you say, he's one of these players that's either brilliant and has a fantastic 90 minutes, or most of them play about 70 minutes now, but for 2/3 of the game he plays well. But he makes the opportunities for other people to score, and he takes a lot of stick when it's not generally required. He's a player that can turn a game when he needs to. And what he needs is a more consistent play as a player. But that's the one lacking fault he has. But as a player, all round, he's got the game when he needs it, and he's always there and thereabout to make the goals.
And what's your take on him, Terry, as a more traditional football fan, with him having his socks down by his ankles and those tiny little shin pads? Are you happy with this style? It might be a bit modern for Terry. Terry's gone into a shock and awe moment there, so he's considering it. He's thinking about that quite deeply.
One thing, Steve, I would say about Ollie Tanner is I'm again a traditional football fan from years ago, and to me, a left-footed winger should always be playing on the left-hand side.
Yeah, I like that as well. I've always said that.
Putting the ball back for the on-rushing striker to head it in. 2 points on that. First of all, we haven't got an on-rushing striker at the moment with Salak.
Yeah.
But also, they tried that against Lincoln, and it just didn't work. And in the end, they switched him back to the right. And my son, being a lot younger, says, no, much better cutting inside. I mean, to me, it's not the way to play football. But that game proved his point. I think he is definitely better on the right-hand side, cutting onto a stronger left foot.
Can I just say about Ollie Tanner? Can I say about Ollie Tanner as well? Before I moved to these parts, I lived in East Sussex, and I'm still in touch with a few people down there, football-wise. And when we signed Ollie Tanner, he previously played for Lewis, and he turned down a contract at Spurs, if you remember. And a fellow I know who supports Hastings said that Ollie Tanner, don't often spot opposition players, but Ollie Tanner seriously stood out. And he was felt then to have a fantastic career ahead of him. Of course, we signed him on a bit of a chance as somebody who's only played non-league, but I think overall we've got a good sign in there. And the signs were there, so from the people I know, saying that he was a very, very good player when he played for Lewis.
Yeah, and also when you watch the TV coverage of the games, it's amazing the amount of times the commentator says he's probably the best winger in his division. As his own fan base, maybe we don't recognise how good he is. So Jeff Delacruz is making a good point. I'll start with. I'll go around the panel on this actually. I'll start with you, Steve, and then we'll go to Terry and then Peter. So Jeff's talking about that Robertson goal. He said, the referee even just stood stock still and looked at Robertson as if in awe.
I've lost you at the moment.
Okay, all right. You might have to go back out and in again, Terry. You might have to go and come back in. Yeah. But,
Okay.
Wow, that communication worked, which is surprising. For me, Steve, that was one of our best moves. If when you see the replay, it doesn't go all the way back. It's a fantastic move, and that audacious layoff from Wintle, and just sublimely popped in the back of the net.
Yes, good point from Jeff. Actually, the officials are human, and the officials are all going to be football fans as well. And I remember a couple of examples of this before in previous seasons. You can't blame the ref looking on in awe. I remember there was a fantastic team goal we scored years ago where Sheffield United at Bramall Lane, where it was all one-touch passing with Ross McCormack, Chopra, Bothroyd playing in Peter Whittingham, who slotted it in, and the linesman got in trouble because he put his flag underneath his arm and clapped it. And then there was the other goal that springs to mind like that was I was at Boston United in 2002 when Ernie scored a hat trick, his first League Cup hat trick, and he's obviously his record holder for scoring the hat tricks across the different leagues and internationally as well. And again, I a friend who's a Boston United fan who said when Ernie scored his volley in that game, the linesman turned to the crowd and just shook his head and sort of breathed out. So the officials are going to appreciate it. It's good that when we score cracking goals like that, it is appreciated by the officials.
Well, my question for you is that a contender for goal of the season?
Yes, but for me, the goal of the season is still Perry NG's at Lincoln away. The one-touch passing as he moved it into the area, that was sublime. Pity we lost the game, but it was worth being there to see that goal by Perry NG.
Any other contenders for you, Peter?
I agree 100% with you, Steve. And of course, it was Christmas time, wasn't it? I think it was about the 20th of December.
It was, yeah.
Myself and my wife were in Working Street, I think, in town, doing a bit of Christmas shopping, and Perry NG walked by the next day, and we said, "Great goal, Perry." I can't do a Scouse accent, but he agreed. It was a great goal. That goal on Saturday, though, Alex Robertson, we were stood right behind where he struck it, and it was the moment he hit it, you knew it was top.
Yeah.
Also helped by the fact he's probably the shortest goalkeeper you'll ever see in the league.
Right.
Their goalkeeper isn't the biggest, but no, absolute cracker. As soon as he struck it, you knew it was going in the top corner. Perfect.
Apart from Perry NG, any other goals for you spring into mind for goal of the season so far?
I think Peter? I've hung my hat on the Perry NG one since I saw that. I think
so top three for me has got to be Perry NG number one, Robertson on Saturday, and I'd probably go back to the first game of the season and the free kick from Ruben against Peterborough.
Because Wintle scored a great goal then as well, didn't he?
He
did. Terry, we're talking. Can you hear us again now?
Yeah, I can hear you again now. I'm back in loud and clear now.
Okay. I don't know. It's just a Wi-Fi thing. We're just talking about goals of the season. I mean, and saying what a great goal Alex Robertson's goal was on the weekend. Ruben scored a great strike, but for me, it was the move with Robertson which made it so special. But another one for me would be the Dylan Lawler goal.
Yeah, that was a cracking goal. The other one, and best individual goal I saw was Salek when he took the ball, run through round four defenders, and placed it right in the corner of the net. It was a tremendous individual goal from the halfway line, and that was a real brilliant goal and a solo effort.
Isn't it refreshing to be having all these contenders for goal of the season? Apologies to Dylan
after last year.
I mean, I can't think of a decent goal we scored last season, but there you go.
No.
Well, one of those seasons I think we should get last season.
Well, we're trying to, I suppose. We're trying to.
Again, we were behind the goal, watching him come towards us, and it was just like a part in the ways. And it was just, when do you get a pass? My God!
Ridiculous goal.
It was just incredible. It was incredible.
So the thing with Dylan, what I really like about Dylan, it's difficult to explain like this, but I just love his composure on the ball. He just touches it slightly ahead of himself and he has a look around. His distribution is fantastic. He'll come. I'm trying to think, Peter, over the years of a footballing centre half who's in that style. Who Danny Gabardon's one contender. Anyone else spring to mind for you? Really top footballing centre halves we've had.
The person he reminds me of 100% is Bobby Moore.
Wow. Wow.
He gets the ball and he has a strange style. He sort of leans backwards.
Yeah.
He's just so composed.
He just pushes it along with his toe or something, doesn't he?
Say again?
He kind of puts his top of his studs on the ball and just like puts it where he wants, you know.
He just sort of leans back, surveys what's
Yeah.
around, and then picks out some of the diagonal balls he plays are just incredible.
Of course, he set up.
Sort of style to me as Bobby Moore's that sort of player where nothing phases him. And for a guy that young, what a prospect.
Yeah, I just wonder who moving forward, you know, what the partnership will be and how it will change in the championship. But hopefully we'll find out soon enough. Peter, the comment here from Martin Ryan about the thing you tipped me off about earlier. Fantastic news about Ruben signing a new contract to 2030. I think one or two other players have done that already. And our youngsters are committing to the future of the club. That's exciting, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. And I'm sure BBM's a big part of that. He's got to be. The way he's brought on the youngsters and people like Ruben and talking about Ollie Tanner earlier, just things like the work rate that they've now got. Previously, they were, you know, sort of the flashy type player, if you like, that didn't want to track back, etc. Now, my goodness, they don't stop. And it seems to be such a good camaraderie around them. You know, when they score a goal, the celebrations are just tremendous. You know, within the players, see the bond is there.
Yeah. The other one is coming on well in the middle there, and he don't get much praise. Is Joel, isn't he? He makes a difference when he comes on. He brings an whole new perspective to the game. So in depth now, we got young players who can have brilliant independent talent.
Yeah.
Funny enough, Terry, on the weekend in my imaginary team, I had Joel starting ahead of Ruben, you know, before he got the 2 goals, you know.
Guilty as charged.
Yeah. I thought it would be ideal for Joel, you know, because he spent some time there as well, didn't he? What do you think about Ruben and his development, Terry, this season? Because even until the weekend, Peter would know this in the week. You know, he's still getting flack, you know, because he's not. You know, he's just got something a bit different about him, and he could be seen as a bit of a luxury, I suppose, at this level. But how do you see? Do you think Ruben's coming on really well now? Terry, start to shape up what he could be.
I do, and I think that the flack he takes is totally unnecessary. He has 1 or 2 silly moves in the game, and he's still young, he's still learning. But in terms of turning the game around, he's absolutely brilliant. You know, he scores 2 goals to turn the game around on Saturday. He's going one with his head, one with his feet. He's now showing all-round ability up front, isn't he? And what more can you expect from a striker? They keep saying he's not a striker. He shouldn't be playing in the middle. Should be wing only. But you know, he's getting the goals. The last couple of games, he's been there 3 times. I know he's got everything. He's all, to me, he's still young. He's still learning. He had a long time out this season with injury, and before he come back, and now he's fitted in, and he's making the difference to the team. He's our winning unknown combination, isn't he, really?
So if Ruben's playing, because at the moment, of course, you know, Robertson and Wintle have pretty well sewn up that midfield partnership, haven't they? You know, and it's Ruben is pushing on ahead. How does Joel fit in then? Do you think, Terry?
Well, I think again he's another player that can play midfield and create the chances. And at the moment, coming off the bench for him is an extra thing we can bring on when we can relax a bit towards just after half time, and we have that ability now. When you look at the first 11, if something's not working, we got 3 or 4 players on the bench who can bring on that can turn the game on its head, and that's the beauty of the game at the moment. We got players up about 15 or 16 deep. We can play, so the bench doesn't weaken the side anymore; it strengthens it, if anything.
And Peter, we're now at a stage which is kind of a nice stage for us as fans, maybe not so much as players. As the players start to come back in, you know, he has to even leaving a goalkeeper out, which I'm sure we've got opinions on. But even leaving the goalkeeper out, he still has to leave players out, and that's only going to, you know, increase. It's nice to have that choice as a luxury, isn't it?
It's leaving a goalkeeper out. Oh. It's been about to soon. you now have 7 substitutes. I mean, it was unheard of. You know, I remember the time 1 substitute was allowed, then it went to 2 and a few more. If there's 7 subs, surely we can have a goalkeeper in there. Surely. Interestingly, one of the warm-ups, I think it was at Barnsley, Turnbull was messing about in goal in the warm-up.
Was he?
I'm wondering if we all think, oh, Penny NG's playing, we'll be okay. And we could have a secret up our sleeve, you never know.
Yeah, it's something I would never dream. You know, not that I'm ever going to be, luckily for everyone, anyone picking the team, but I certainly would have a goalkeeper on the bench. You know, call me old-fashioned, but I certainly would. A candidate there, Wintle, goal of the season, his only goal of the season, about a cracking strike, wasn't it? And then, of course, Capaccio in the first game had that great goal. Had loads coming in. Lawler. I love the way Graham describes it as is parting of the seas goal, which is nice. Steve, and the point you made about the difference to last season, you know, okay, the Lincoln game, we came out of the Lincoln game, that was disappointing. I think we largely took it on the chin, but the number of times you come out of the stadium and everyone walking down the road with a big smile on their face, you know.
Yeah, it's been absolutely brilliant. Again, I think another point I want to make about the players and the players queuing up. We had such a bloated squad last season, and we got rid of so many players for this season. And then, you know, there have been the odd comment I've seen about the fact the squad isn't big enough. We've not got the cover. You know, for example, you look at the strike. Yes, Salek's out, and BBM puts in Kellerman, and then you've still got Callum Robinson sitting on the bench. We've got 4 decent centre backs, I think. And you know, now that we've got the cover for Joel Bagan on left back, I think we've got what we need. But yeah, I agree with everyone. I'm a risk averse person anyway, to not have a goalkeeper on a bench that does cause me some concern. As a Perry, it's a little while ago now that he went in goal at the end of that game where our goalkeeper was sent off. I'd rather have a second goalkeeper on there. But at the end of the day, it's just so difficult to criticise BBM for anything, because he's really turned it around. He's got the fans all together, and we can only look forward with the future with optimism now.
What were we saying then, Peter? Sorry.
Again, not having to keep.
It was at Barnsley, the Penny NG went in goal.
Oh, yes.
Barnsley,
yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, Terry.
But I think the difference is now as well, he's probably got enough confidence that we dominate games, and the amount of tack on our goal is so few in most games that he can afford to keep it on the bench. You know, and he knows the midfield and that can control the game, and the other players, the opposition, don't get a shot in. So, you know, whoever plays in goals don't have a great deal to do anyway.
And of course, we don't know what this Tyra guy's like, do we, really? You know, he's not even on the bench, you know. He's just carrying out Perry Angie's shopping bags at half-time. You know, he might be really good.
And again, now, the situation now, we got none of these funny little caps on funny little games now. We can try people out. It's too important at this time of the season now to get people how to play. You got to put your experienced squad in, and you've got to make sure every game's a win.
Who's the best keeper in your time, Terry? And is Nathan Trott anywhere, you know, towards one of the better keepers we've had? Terry? We lost Terry again. I think we might have lost Terry. Sorry, Terry, you have to do that. Are you still there, Terry?
I'm still here. I'm okay.
Yeah, okay. I was asking you about keepers. How impressed are you with Nathan Trott? And would he be anywhere near one of the best keepers we've had?
No, not one of the best. He's the most flamboyant keeper we've ever had. And he makes some silly moves, and your heart's in your mouth when he passes that ball out with his hand. I mean, he keeps you guessing. There's one thing about him. And, you know, in the vital games, he has pulled off some impressive saves. But no, he's nowhere near the best keeper we've ever had. He's prone to mistakes, and he's prone to positioning. I find times he's standing in the wrong place, or he misses some of the crosses, which bring goals. But, you know, he's at the moment he's doing the job, and we have no one else there, I don't think.
Okay. So Peter, how highly do you rate Nathan Trott?
Excellent shot stopper, but doesn't command the area when the ball's coming across. He doesn't know when to come for it, or he doesn't like coming for the ball. don't get me wrong, he's been absolutely superb for us this season. But if you're looking for a criticism, that's what I would say. He makes a spectacular save very well, and I'm sure he saved us a lot of points this season, but he's not the best at coming off his line. So if you're looking for favourite goalkeepers, I've got to go back to Bill Irwin.
Yeah, I like Bill Irwin. Bill Irwin. I also like Ron Healy.
Ron Healy, yeah.
But I've liked a lot of the things you said tonight, Peter. I like your idea of having a left footer on the left and a right foot on the right, and having a keeper on the bench. So where are you with with Nathan Trott when he's doing like the circus clown tricks on the goal line, juggling and all this stuff,
If you'd asked me when I was in the crowd at Orient, I would have given you a different answer to what I'd give you now. He's obviously good with the ball at his feet. His distribution lately isn't as good as it has been.
No, it's gone for a bit, yeah.
But to be fair, if you look back over the season, I think a few of our goals have come from him starting the move, playing it out.
Yeah.
It's the modern way, isn't it?
Loads of comments coming in here, Steve. Somebody saying about, I wonder how many City players are going to be in the Welsh squad. Any thoughts on that? Who's likely?
Yeah, I think Joel's likely to be Capaccio, Dylan Lawler. I'm not sure how Craig Bellamy feels about Ruben.
Why is that though? Why is that?
I don't know. I have no idea. I think we ended up with 5 last time. Of course, Isaac's still injured, isn't he? So I think we're probably likely to have 3, possibly 4 this time. Yeah.
And great comment here from Jeff talking about Welsh internationals. Lawler's the new Beckenbauer. So there you go. We'll have a bit of that.
So we got a Beckenbauer and Bobby Moore, have we?
Yeah, it looks like, yeah. It's not a bad combination, is it?
Isa, yeah.
So how about this one from Jammer for you, Terry? Unpopular theory, but I really believe City would have been second right now, even with Turner in goal all season. Yeah, I feel sorry for him as he started so well for the City. Bad timing, I guess, because he surprised us, didn't he, by bringing him in for the first game, got rid of the 2 we had, and he hasn't had a look in. He's not even not sitting on the bench, is he? He's way down the line. Can you hear me, Terry?
How you doing now again? It's terrible. It's dropping in and out terrible tonight, isn't it? Yeah.
Did you hear what I said then? So somebody saying they feel sorry for Turner not getting the look in.
Yeah, because early on he was playing well, and all of a sudden now he's on the bench, one of the last to come on usually. So yeah, and he had some cracking games prior to Christmas, but then since the new year he's rarely got on the pitch, has he?
No. And I think that might be to do with the fact he wasn't so great in that cup game when we shipped 5 against Wimbledon.
That's right.
I don't think BBM takes any prisoners, does he? If he needs to do something, he just gets on and does it.
Turner came in at Lincoln away, and we got back to 1-1. We had a few good chances, and I think he could perhaps been criticised for the Lincoln second goal, which is the header from the far post from the corner.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a shame. I mean, it's early days. He's still young, and I love his passion for Cardiff City, which is nice. Jeff Dela Cruz makes the point. Next season, Peter could be 9 on the bench, and I think it's also, isn't it, top 8 could be in the playoffs or something crazy like that.
Yeah, game's gone.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? Yeah, so Jammer says, yeah, finish 8th and City in the playoffs. What's your actual genuine feelings on that, Peter? I'm taking you're not that keen.
No, but at least I'm not 100% sure how it works, but the 3rd and 4th teams, I think, have a playoff together. So it's not like the team that finishes 8th has the same opportunity as the team that finishes 3rd. I don't think. I'm not 100% clear on it. But there is some sort of seeding system within those 8. So I suppose that's not too bad. But personally, no, thank you.
I suppose the thinking is, Peter, would you say that it's to do with, maybe, I don't know, TV interest or whatever it is, just trying to keep it exciting and give everyone something to play for?
Absolutely.
At the end?
It's to do with the usual thing, money.
Yeah. Yeah. What about you, Steve? Are you a fan of 8 for the playoffs? Come 8th and up you go.
think it is what it is. I mean, going back to when they first brought playoffs in, the school of thought then was if you finish in the top 3, you should go up. If you finish 3rd, you should go up. You shouldn't have to play somebody who's 6th to get up. So I think the answer is, for me, it is what it is. If they put 8 in, they've done it in the National League. They do it in the National League quite a way down, don't they?
Do they? All right.
And teams only get one crack. So the team that's finished higher up play at home. So it depends how they work it. But everybody's going to know at the start of the season what the position is. So it is what it is.
So Jonathan's clarified that apparently the same, as you said, Steve, it's the same playoff setup as the National League, 3rd and 4th in the semi, and below play quarters to get to the semi. I can't say I'm much of a fan of it. I would imagine, Terry, you think it's a lot of old nonsense as well, don't you?
I do. I mean, I'm in favour of if you come 3rd at the end of the season and 3 teams are going up, you've deserved that through a full 46-match game. You take it in the past now, in the Championship in particular. You've had teams who have been nowhere around the playoff area, have a run in of about 4 or 5 good games, come in at 6th place, and land up with a 3rd team going up because they've hit the right string of form for the last few games. Whereas, somebody else has played well for 41 games and didn't get the promotion.
Do you see anyone doing
so
that?
I'm an old-fashioned type. I think it's all about making more money and using Wembley and doing everything else. I think it's trying to play more games to get more money into the game.
Yeah, I wonder what the players make of it actually as well. Well, I was going to ask you then, Terry. It escaped my mind. Then I was going to ask you about something else. I'm going to change the topic and go on to something else, which is not a particularly pleasant subject and quite a worrying subject. But of course, Jason Bowen was in the news today, wasn't he? Apparently, his health is deteriorating. Peter, so it's
Sounds
terrible.
dropped out.
Okay, terrible to see that. Sorry, it's mixed messages going on here. With Jason, he's such a lovely footballer, and still quite a young chap, and seems to be deteriorating quite badly now. Peter.
Yeah, so sad, isn't it? So sad. He was at an event we went to at the stadium some time ago, and you could see he was deteriorating then. But obviously, there's only one way it's going, isn't it? It's going downhill. Very sad, very sad. Great service to the club.
Yeah, and it's one of those illnesses. But at the moment, there isn't any kind of cure for it. So obviously, we wish Jason and his family the very best. And it's one of those occasions, Steve, when fans of Cardiff and Swansea, I guess, would be on the same page because they played that game, didn't they? As a fundraiser for him.
Yeah. It is heartbreaking. I just can't echo everything that Peter and you have just said on the subject of Jason. Very, very good memories of some of the goals he scored for us.
Good footballer, wasn't he?
Absolutely, and one of the players who did successfully cross the divide. I remember when we played Reading in the FA Cup in 1998. He got a heck of a lot of abuse for being a former player for the team 40 miles down the road. But he really sort of won it when everybody ran, as Andy Legg did as well, and that they became very much appreciated Cardiff City players. And yeah, I got some very fond memories of watching Jason Bowen playing for Cardiff City, and my heart goes out to him and his family.
So Terry, I don't know whether you're able to hear this at the moment. I don't think you are. I'll try and message Terry. Martin Ryan is saying that only 2 clubs apparently get promoted from the National League in the end, but they got to play all those games, I suppose, to get to that stage. And then Jeff's saying we won't be complaining if we finish 8th, which is probably a fair call. To make the playoffs would be nice. And you see the way that Wrexham, sorry to mention the word Wrexham on the show, but the way the Wrexham have bounced from division to division, Peter, and going back to what Terry said about when you get a side who hit the playoffs and they're in a run of form, could that be us next season?
If we finish 8th and we go up, I'll take back all the comments I've just made. It's not fun. It's not fun.
How do you see us doing next season if we do go up?
Difficult one, isn't it? It really is a difficult one. Obviously, we're at the level we're playing at now. We're, I would say, the best team in the league at playing football, but we're behind the team who are best at dark arts. And fair dues to them, it gets them their results. Interesting with Lincoln. My son-in-law is a Mansfield Town fan, so he's from Mansfield.
Oh yeah.
He lives in Cardiff now, but he's from Mansfield. Goes to most of their home games as well. Travels from Cardiff to Mansfield to watch them. And when we were playing Lincoln, he said they just played them, and he said what a horrible, horrible side Lincoln are. He said all they'll do is time waste from the first minute, and it's dark arts all the way through. And fair play to them, they did, and they did it well. They were time wasting from minute one. Before the game got going, they were time wasting all the way through. But it's got them to top a league, so no way to complain. We did it with Mr. Warnock not too long ago. So
yeah, I suppose. We dished it out, so I suppose we got to kind of step it up in response. Steve, credit to Lincoln though. I mean, they do keep on going. 20 games unbeaten now. Won again on the weekend. They're just chugging away, aren't they?
Most definitely. And you mentioned the dark arts, but actually they're very, very good at what they do. If you look at whenever they lost the ball to us in the home game against them, they were so well organised. The way they were set up, there was like every time we were trying to thread a needle. Trying to get through them. They're very good. They're very direct. There are teams who I would say who are much dirtier than Lincoln I've seen play this season. Put it that way.
Stockport spring to mind.
I wasn't going to mention any names, but what can I say? I think you got to take your hat off to them. They're very, very effective at what they do, and it's difficult to see them not going up now. I mean, there's still a chance we can catch them, but actually, unbeaten in 20 games.
Nearly half a season.
Absolutely. Yeah, you got to take your hat off to them. But I've always said throughout the season, I don't care where we finish in the top two, as long as we're in the top two.
Yeah, I agree. And again, on the weekend, Peter, with the other results, that result with Bolton the other week when they came from behind to win, which is insane. They nearly did it again on the weekend. They were 2 down the weekend. They nearly did it.
2-0 down on Saturday and they got a point. They're relentless. We went to the game in Bolton as well, and I didn't think much of them at the time. I know it was early season, and then their guy, I can't remember his name now, the double-barreled name guy, got the wonder goal in the last minute. So it really was a worldie. Got them the 3 points there. But again, they keep going to the end of the game.
Yeah. Somebody made the comment that if we go up, we'll rise above Lincoln. Do you think Lincoln are going to, I mean, I hear they got some money coming in. I don't know, but I hear this. But you'd imagine Lincoln would be key candidates to go straight back down, wouldn't they, Peter?
Yeah, I would think so. That style of football works up to a certain point, but when you come up against the better teams.
I'm reminded, Steve, of 75-6 when we were runners up to Hereford. When Hereford were very, very, very much a team to get out of the what was Division 3 at the time. And I think I stand to be shot down on it, obviously, but I agree entirely. I can't see Lincoln doing as well next season because they'll be playing against teams who are going to be much more effective at stopping what they do.
Yeah, so I suppose you could, though, Steve. I suppose you could. It depends if they're able to spend money. Their attendances, their capacity is about 9,000 or something crazy.
Yes.
So they're not going to be big spenders. So I don't see how they can really. But could you do that kind of all out defense, hit them on a break thing? I wonder if it would work a level above.
Potentially, and you also got to remember again. Hats off to them. Not that long ago, they were in the National League as well.
Yeah. Which is where you think, you shouldn't be patronising towards Lincoln. They have done amazing, but they've overperformed, haven't they? Massively.
Yeah.
And
again,
credit to them for that.
I think you remember 87 when everybody's eyes were on Burnley. Former league champions potentially dropping out the league, and it was Lincoln who dropped out then into the National League. and also it was Lincoln who played Bradford on the day of the Bradford City fire. So
right.
they have had difficult moments in their history, and fair play to the Lincoln fans. Again, you mentioned Warnock ball earlier on. I thought we scored some fantastic goals in the Neil Warnock promotion season. There was some fantastic winning at Wolves away, winning at Hull away. There was such a great season. But looking forward now, you mentioned I wanted to come in and say this about what happens next season. Whatever happens next season, we have to stick with BBM.
100%.
If you, absolutely, yeah. We don't want him going anywhere. I'm sure about that. People are talking about Nathan Trott.
One lovely comment he made, BBM, in the post-match interview after Saturday, was we play the Cardiff City way.
Yeah, it reminds me of another team not far away who had a certain way.
Yeah, wonderful.
Funny, yeah, it's nice, but it's funny, Peter, that he said that because I'm as much as anyone, Cardiff are a lovely team to watch at the moment, different proposition altogether under BBM. But we used to, belittle Swansea, didn't we, for playing the Swansea way, 7,000 passes and like one goal every 5 months kind of thing. And, and in midweek for that one game, you could think maybe we're at least guilty of overcomplicating it at times, aren't we? So if it is the Cardiff City way, what is the Cardiff City way, Peter?
Well, the way we're playing at the moment, the possession stats are just incredible. Every game, and it's just hopefully with the amount of shots we had on the weekend, let's see a similar thing on tomorrow night against Wycombe, because that's where the goals come from.
Yeah, because Wycombe, Steve, they're obviously going to do the same. I would say, because if you look at the Lincoln game, it's kind of the classic example. They defended brilliantly. They were really well organized. They were physical. They were fit. They had some other tricks, but very hard to break down. And when they had on the break, they were just ruthless, at hitting us on the break. So that's the model, isn't it, that the other teams are going to adopt, isn't it?
Yes, it is, but it's up to us to break them down, as it has been throughout. I don't think we're going to have any easy games the rest of the season, but I think we can prevail. I think we're going to prevail tomorrow night, and I think we're going to prevail against Blackpool on Saturday. Okay,
that's interesting. Jonathan Mordecai says, Lincoln do have a billionaire shareholder taking a controlling stake. I expect them to invest more, so we'll see how that goes. In a way, it's quite nice to see smaller clubs doing well. It sounds really patronising, but I genuinely honestly mean it. Look at Portsmouth. Portsmouth's a small club, really. Look what they've done. Terry, are you receiving us? Are you back in the game, Terry? This is going to be a great radio show when it goes out. Somebody, I'm not going to put the comment on the screen because I do try and avoid tasty language. But Bob Bank 2741, if Lincoln lose this season, Peter, a couple more may follow. We just got to keep an eye on their coattails and wait for them to mess up. I'll go with that. That's what they've done to us. I'd personally be, like Steve said earlier, absolutely over the moon, Harry, to finish in the top two. Up we go, and no messing around with the playoffs and just get up. I care about that much more than I care about winning this league.
Absolutely, yeah. I've got enough grey hairs, thanks. I don't want the playoffs. Finishing second is absolutely fine. On Saturday, there was a glimmer of hope when Lincoln actually conceded a goal, but no, back they came.
Yeah.
Back they came with another solid 3 points. So, no, well, good on them. As long as we finish second, that's fine.
Do you see anyone else making the late bid for the playoffs? I'm going to say Plymouth on the team. I think might do it. Peter, what do you think?
Nice to see Stockport dropping out of the top six. I thought.
That,
pleased me greatly. Plymouth are having a fantastic time at the moment, aren't they? So, yeah, they're possible. But fingers crossed we're okay now. It would take some doing to mess up from where we are, and I don't think we will. I think we've got a backbone with BBM there. That's
no, well, we got a big opportunity. Big opportunity this week with the 2 home games in short succession. Win both those games, Steve, and it's really looking good. Then, isn't it? What's the number you think we got to get to, Steve?
I think I was reading something. I can't take credit for. I read something today saying 88 points should be enough. I think if we get four more wins, we'll be okay. And I think we can do that. But Bolton, don't forget, are now effectively Bolton are now effectively 4 games behind us. So I'm sure if we win 4 of our remaining games, we'll be okay.
Steve, I do agree with you because of the goal difference. But the one thing I would point out, the little rider on that, is because we're so far ahead of them, that if we were to suddenly take a nosedive and they went up, had some fantastic results, the goal difference might disappear, because obviously we're going to go down in goal difference, they're going to go up in goal difference. So maybe we are just the 9 points ahead, 3 games ahead.
Effectively, if we were to win 4 games, regardless of what we do against Bolton, we would then they would then have to overhaul more than 7 games to beat us. And as they've only got 9 games left, effectively, you'd have to be saying they would have to win 7 and probably draw another 2, and that's if we completely implode.
Yeah. I'm pretty confident we're okay.
We've only got 9 games to go now, so this week, if we were to win those 2 home games, there's 7 games left. We're looking pretty good. Terry, I don't know whether you're hearing me at the moment.
I'm back in. It's been terrible this evening. It's dropping out. I'm back again.
So I'll talk to you while you're around. So tomorrow evening, of course, we got our game, but Lincoln are away at Huddersfield, and Bradford are home to Mansfield. I don't know what Bolton are up to tomorrow. I'm not quite sure if they're home. I haven't looked at their fixture yet. But would you say that this week could be a really big week for us, Terry, if we can win our 2 home games? More or less?
Absolutely. I think, and the margin will be so much. We'd have to lose every game, and all the contenders, particularly Bolton, would have to win at least 7 out of their 9 games over all us. I think we can stop worrying about finishing top of the league. Worrying about getting above Lincoln. Our most important target now is to stay second and go up automatically. What we don't want to happen is get into these lottery of the playoffs of 1 bad game and be knocked out.
And thanks to Chris. Yeah, I just checked, Chris. Thank you. Bolton home to Doncaster, so that's a very winnable game. Bradford home to Mansfield, very winnable game. Huddersfield, Lincoln. Huddersfield have gone off the boil. But taking Terry's point in mind there, Peter, do we need just, like, I suppose, in football parlance, just concentrate on getting their own game done, win the matches, and let the other results play out? I suppose just crack on.
Yeah, as BBM always says, just look after yourselves. Control what we can control, not the uncontrollable. Bradford home to Mansfield could be interesting. Mansfield are a strange team. They go on runs. They're unbeaten in the last 5.
Okay.
They go on a good run. They go on a bad run. That's just the way they are. Strange results. So Bradford's not guaranteed in that one.
I suppose just those 3 results, I think we'll be keeping an eye on tomorrow. But hopefully we'll do the business. Wickham aren't bad. They're not far off the playoffs either, by the way. They're still kind of battling away. So it's not, like Steve said. Steve, it's not going to be any pushover, is it? I don't think tomorrow.
No, it's not. But I think we'll come through. I think we're going to be okay now. Again, you get some funny results. People looking at Bolton playing at home to Doncaster. I think I had Bolton down as almost a nailed on away win at Rotherham on Saturday, especially after the way we beat them. And again, they came back from 2-0 down to get a 2-2 draw. So again, there's no nailed on results in this league.
So I'm going to go around so I'll start with you, Steve, and hopefully I can communicate with Terry. They say about these Zoom meetings like being in the seance. It's a bit like that. It's nobody's fault. But so Wickham at home, Blackpool at home, two results then, Steve. Give us some score lines.
Okay, 2-1 tomorrow night and 3-1 on Saturday.
Okay. Terry? I think you said 5-0 and 6-0. Peter, where are you going?
So I've done 2-1 against Wickham and 3-0 against Blackpool.
Okay, 6 points. Yeah, 6 points would be lovely, and that would more or less do it. So yes, it's been an interesting show in terms of technology, but we've got there. If Terry can hear me, thank you, Terry. And the wave didn't work on the radio, but I'll try it anyway. Thank you, Steve. Thanks, Peter. Let's hope you're both right, and let's hope we go marching on. Cheers, all. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
This channel is powered by an incredible membership community on Cardiff City World and patreon.com/Ace Podcast Nation. Becoming a member unlocks exclusive rewards from early access to live event tickets, bonus content, and even the occasional inside transfer scoop when we get it. But more importantly, it allows us to bring you top quality Cardiff City content 7 days a week. Across those 7 days, we're talking match previews, exclusive interviews, instant match reactions, the breakdown podcast, tactical deep dives, the Spotlight series, Bluebirds Rewind, Academy Focus, and just so much more. Led by myself, backed by an army of passionate Cardiff City fans, this is content created by fans, for fans, balanced, professional, and 100% all about the club we all love. If you enjoy what we do, then join the community today and support what we are doing as we help to keep Cardiff City World flying high.